Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So first of all, let me introduce myself first. I'm IPOH and I come from English Education Department of Mahasiwa University. Terima kasih atas kesempatannya. Today I'm going to share you something regarding the result of research in 2022. Ini researchnya dilakukan tahun 2022 yang memang berhubungan dengan kurangnya efektivitas dari pengajaran bahasa Inggris dalam konteks keindonesiaan. Mungkin nanti kita akan berbagi tentang hal-hal yang memang dalam konteks keindonesiaan. So we are going to check it now. The very first question, it is started actually by the result of EP or English Proficiency Index. The English Proficiency Index of Indonesia is always very low every single years. Can we imagine today in 2024 or 2023, the last one, Indonesia is placed number 79 out of 111 countries being observed. It is of course like very far compared to Malaysia, because Malaysia use English as second language and we use English as foreign language. However, this quality of English education in Indonesia is still considered very poor. This is actually the reason behind why the research would like to be conducted. There is something really special actually. If we even compare to Vietnam in Southeast Asia, Vietnam ranks very good in English development, especially English ability. And it is very far if we have to compare Indonesia with Malaysia and also Singapore, which is use English as a second language. So this is very different. We left behind so far from Malaysia and Singapore. So I think this relationship between Indonesia and Malaysia, especially Mahasiwa University, and we from English Education Department can learn a lot on how actually we can develop English education, especially in Indonesian context. Because learning English as a second language probably will be very different comparing to us as an Indonesians who learned English only as foreign language. So this is the ideas behind this research. We would like to know what is actually the problem behind why we Indonesians, especially English quality of Indonesian students, still left very behind. And if we also try to see further into the development of English education in Indonesia, our curriculum actually obligate Indonesian students to learn English starting from primary. So primary, junior, and senior. So we did learn English for almost about 12 years. However, the results is always like left behind. It is not like really promising, such as other countries who always have a good quality of English. So this is also become the reason behind why we do this research, why we did this research. So, from what we did in our research, we actually tried to we found so many reasons. However, the most reasons which actually come frequently to our respondents always this. The first is about pronunciations, vocabulary, and grammar. There are so many wrong perceptions around English students in Indonesia that they still think the pronunciation is too unpredictable, the vocabulary is too many idioms, and grammar is too many exceptions. This is something also become very interesting because when we talk about the process of teaching English in Indonesia, we always focus on the language component rather than the language skill itself. However, I do believe as an English teacher and then as an English lecturer, we do believe that learning a language by the end is actually learning how to use the language, not learning about the language. However, we in Indonesia still found so many people, especially English teachers, who still think that our students need to learn about English, not to learn English to use, not to learn how to use English. So this is also still become debatable in our Indonesian context, that so many Indonesian teachers especially English teacher, still think that in order to develop students' English, they focus on pronunciations, vocabulary, and grammar rather than the English skill itself. And this has become another key, which actually becomes misperceptions, that actually learning English is not to use, but learning how about English. This is several things that we found from the research. And another things that also still become a major issue in Indonesian context is that the wrong idea of the nature of language learning. I do believe that when we learn any kinds of language, whether it is Arabic or maybe Sundanese, even Japanese or Javanese, when we learn language, then it will be quite different compared into another subject. For example, like math, science, or any other subject in a school. However, from the research found, now today in Indonesian context, there are so many teachers who still think that the strategies of learning English is only technical strategies, such as how to teach English effectively, and then how to use approach effectively in teaching English or another things like that. However, in learning language, they forgot that they also have to find another theory, that they also have to recommend or reconsider another theory, which is that learning language is quite different comparing to the subject. Even another subject, we only learned how to teach with, for example, appropriate strategies or appropriate method. However, in learning language, we also have to consider theories of second language acquisitions. This is something that we in Indonesia still got. Many Indonesian teachers, especially English teachers, still forgot to implement theories of second language acquisitions on their own implementations of language teaching, especially English. So this is become major issue. When they do not know theories of second language acquisition and how actually language can be acquired, then they will only provide learning process by strategies or approach which is normally used by other teacher. However, and I heard that in, I do believe that in Malaysia also there are a lot of English teacher, and I believe that they have been already implemented in how actually to know second language acquisition theories. However, in Indonesia, teachers still left behind talking about this process. This is something that we must really develop in our educational system in Indonesia, especially in English education. The English education in Indonesia, according to the research which is conducted before here in 2022, there are still so many teachers that lack of understanding of theories of second language acquisitions. And this is become major issue, become major problem in our curriculum in Indonesian context, because too many teachers still focus on how actually to implement their teaching process in a class without also consider the theories of second language acquisition. Another things, they are also to assume that many Indonesian teachers are not effective because they do not have adequate teaching skill and knowledge of subject matter, which are indicators of effective teachers. We took this from Hyper in 2000. This research also tried to take the research before in 2000. There are so many Indonesian teachers which is considered not many effective, also related into the history of our system of curriculum in Indonesia. I don't know on how actually Malaysia tried to develop their educational system. However, we in Indonesia frequently we change the curriculum frequently almost after 10 years. So we changed the curriculum from 1974 and in 1984 and in 1994, and we changed again in 2004. We changed again 2006 and 2010 and 2013, which is called 2013 curriculum. And then we are now changing into Merdeka curriculum. This become also another reasons and how actually teacher always got problem and difficulties and to adapt into new curriculum. Every single time our curriculum changed into a new one, every time also the teacher have to adapt to that new curriculum. So I think this relationship can be good ideas on how actually we Indonesians learned and how actually Malaysian's government try to develop their own curriculum, especially for English. And then after Suharto came to power in the late 1960s, Indonesia's education development increased rapidly by initiating compulsory schooling regulations and building a lot of new schools through of the archipelago. Beside the changing of curriculum, another things that we also consider or we also try to take into account is regarding the quality and regarding the history of our educations. Before Suharto, the quality of teacher is we can take the teacher only the graduation from junior high school. We still remember if we try to open the Indonesian history in the past before 1990, every single person graduated from even junior high school or senior high school, they are able to be a teacher. So can you imagine those students graduated from junior high school or senior high school and they become a teacher for those students in junior high school and in senior high school? We know that their development of ability of teaching also will not be different comparing to those teacher graduated from, for example, like a bachelor degree or probably master degree. However, this still become a problem even up till now. I am now 32 years old, but I was the product of teacher who graduated from junior or from senior high school because I was taking my primary school in 1996. So at the time, our government still regulate that teacher graduated from junior high school and senior high school still can become a teacher. So Alhamdulillah, now Indonesia has always tried to develop to become a good system of education. Now the quality of teacher in Indonesia try to increase rapidly and also with a good system. Every single teacher today must graduate from bachelor degree at least. And then we also try to provide certifications for teacher in order to make or to produce a very qualified teacher. But maybe the process of development in Indonesia's education will not be really rapidly compared to, for example, Malaysia and Singapore, that we still have to work really hard with our issues and our problem, but we still very positive that we also can achieve until that goal. This is what I have already informed you for. So, the vicious circle of poor quality of education in Indonesia is just like this. Because we have unqualified teacher, poor achievement, bad graduations, as the result, poor also for university intake. And then when we got poor university intake, we are going to find also bad university qualities and poor teacher training. This happened like for about 20 years ago in Indonesia when our governments give the regulations that the English teacher can be graduated from senior school. However, now we try to develop, but this is actually the reality. We have because the quality of a teacher only graduate from senior school, so it can be said there are unqualified teacher. Yes, of course, we cannot judge that all of them are unqualified teacher. However, in reality, we can also take into account those students graduated only from senior high school. They have no idea on how actually to teach students. They even have no idea on how actually about theories of second language acquisitions that we have already discussed before. So as the result, it can be said unqualified teacher. And when we have unqualified teacher, we also going to have poor achievement of graduations because the teacher is unqualified, so they will teach a students also will not be really effective, and as the result, we are going to produce unqualified also graduating. And when we have unqualified graduating, when it comes to university, we also come into poor university intake, and as the result, bad quality of teacher training also will be found in the university. Those are the problem or the issues that we found from the research. I know that we still have so many problems in Indonesian context, especially for English teaching. But we, like what I have already informed you, we're still very positive, we're still very optimistic that by the end in the future, probably in near future, we can create a better future for our educational system in Indonesia, especially in teaching English. Since today, Indonesian government also try to develop the quality of English teacher that must be at least graduated from bachelor, and they also got certifications. So we try to keep doing that. We try to keep going in making education quality, especially for English, and to become better in Indonesian system. Okay, so as a student in university, especially in education faculty, you are going to be teacher in the future, especially for those students, my student in English education department. The first impressions is everything. So regardless of all of the problem that we found in Indonesian context, like what it is too big to discuss all of that problem. However, from our single class, from our small class, in our small community in the school, we can make a change. We can make something change, because I do believe that when we make a change from the simple community in our class, then we can make a change in our school. And if every single person think like that, then probably we can make a change in a bigger scale in our Indonesian context. So my tips for all of you, yes, with all of that problem, but just focus on you. The very first I would like to share with you is the first impressions is everything. So when you come to your class, we have to say that this is hidden curriculum. For almost many things or many times, maybe you come to your class and then your lecturer always talk about curriculum, but they probably sometimes forgot talking about hidden curriculum. Hidden curriculum is very important to be known by every single of you who will be a teacher in the future. Hidden curriculum is actually oral circumstances behind that curriculum. However, it will give beneficial impact to your students. Hidden curriculum is actually your character, your impressions, your personality, everything about your personality in your class. And this will be like very nice to be told. So the first impressions is everything. When you become a teacher, my advice, the very first to your class must be very important. If you know Timothy Walker from Finland, he said, students only need 6 seconds to value that this is a good teacher and this is a bad teacher. Can you imagine? Our students only need 6 seconds to consider that a good teacher or effective teacher or not an effective teacher. So in a very first impressions is always become everything for your students. Show yourself as a firm teacher, as a friendly teacher. It will be like very beneficial to your students, and after that improve. And then firm doesn't mean harsh. So as an English teacher, you also need to be firm. Firm doesn't mean harsh. It's different comparing to strong or what is that, strict teacher or lecturer. Firm is actually something like you need to make regulation and rules with your students in your class. This is very important to discuss with your students in your class and then arrange everything regarding the rules and regulations, what you need to do, what your students need to do, what your student doesn't need to do in class is always also very important in the first impressions. And then in heart, there is love. When you come to a class, then it will always become a biggest contributions for you, for humanity. So being a teacher, I always believe that being a teacher is my greatest contributions for humanity, not only for my country. So you have to be very grateful when you come to English education department, when you come to faculty of education, because someday in the future you are going to be a teacher and you'll develop human. And this is not easy job. This is not easy working. But believe me, once you become a great teacher, once you'll produce so many quality human resources, and it will develop into become a good countries in the future. So express a form of affections. Do not worry to express every single time your affections to your students. The relationship in the class is not only as relationship as a teacher and as students, but you also can become the most inspirations persons in your class when your students will always like very happy every single day. Every single day they will all wait you in that class and they wait you as a teacher, as an inspiration. So become a teacher is also become role model for your students and how actually you can give them imaginations, give them impressions to open their future life and to open their mind, to open their window for their future. So that would be a great opportunity and a great experience for you. Always express your affections and don't worry. And then call their name, try to be sensitive. I found this actually in Finland when so many students when so many teachers in Finland, they always try to call their student with name rather than saying kamu in Indonesian or you, probably in English. So saying or calling our students with their names also is actually something like very good impact to our students. Our students can be felt being accepted by us as a teacher. So when they feel like being accepted by we as a teacher, the relationship between students and teacher will be more harmony and will be more effective in order to be an effective also teacher. Because once you have your student heart, once also you can open many things for your students' development. And then make sure as a teacher and as a newcomers in the world of education, it's a must for you to know these theories of cognitivism, physical development, social development, and emotional development of your students. You can open theories from Piaget or maybe theories from Erikson's that will also help you to develop your understanding on how actually can approach your students. When you know nothing about these 4 theories, then you will also know nothing on how actually to approach your students. So my advice, when you become a teacher, read again a book and try to read cognitive development, physical development, social development, emotional development. When you know this theory, you will also very effective when you are going to approach your student because you know the theory. When you know nothing about the theory, you will get lost in how actually you can approach your students. And this is the last slide. This is also the hidden curriculum. For you as a newcomers, give plenty of time of rest break. Just like in Finland, just like in so many good countries, and probably I think maybe it is also conducted in Malaysia or Singapore, when our students also have a few time, every single time they learned, so they will also have take a break. So it will also very good, not only for their time, but also for their mind development, for their brain development. Provide room that is comfortable and then simple and has enough air. This is also still need to be considered. And then character building also still need to be very considered when you come to your class. You have to pay attention to this one, and then invite everyone to be creative. So teaching is not for me. Teaching is just like an art. When you become a teacher, you are free to do everything in your class. You are free to do everything with your students in your class. So be creative teacher and invite every single individual in your class to be creative also. And involve them in curriculum development. So curriculum is not only the curriculum that we made as a teacher, or probably the curriculum as a set of documents from our government. Remember, when you become teacher, discuss with your students for what kinds of their needs, what things that they need in learning, what things that they don't need in learning. Because when you don't discuss everything with your students, then you probably will get lost. Your student also will get lost. It is always very good to discuss the curriculum at the very beginning of your class with your students. Discuss everything, what they need, what they want to learn, and what they still want to develop in learning. And then make learning become real. Yeah, try to be contextual in every single things of your learning. I think today we have so many technologies, we have so many tools that we can take into account for this part. Be their friends, and then work in a class, and then sharing with other teachers, also very important. And then create share saving, is also very important to be considered. Prevent bullying, which also something still happening. So this is also your part as a teacher. And then take an advantage of technology, because we are now living in the era of technological investment or technological development. So this is also something that we cannot let behind. Today, technology has changed so many things, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic. So this is something I think very important, and this is also still become a major problem in Indonesian context, since still so many teachers in Indonesia are they all left behind for this part. We still also have to develop our education, especially for technologies and knowledge in technology. And then put music and dance, and then play games is also another things that we can probably do in our system of educations. So this is the final slide of my sharing, because this is actually can be said as a sharing. I share on how actually the quality and also the process and the system of English educations in Indonesia, that we still have so many things become a major issues. And for those students, especially graduated from English Education Department, who will become teachers someday in the future, if we think all those major problems probably will be very hard. So just start from your class, from simple and small class, to make a change. When you make a change with you yourself as a teacher, then you can make a change for your students. When you and your student make a change from your small class, then I think if every single teacher and always think like that, then probably the system of our quality of education will be very good in Indonesia. So thank you very much for that sharing. My time's until 9:40. So thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Atas penyampaian yang begitu bermakna kepada Bapa X Saiful Yunin sebentar tadi. Alhamdulillah. Congratulations. Very powerful. Alhamdulillah. Okay, masih tuan-tuan sekalian, jam saya sudah menunjuk jam pukul 10.40. InsyaAllah, alhamdulillah, kita akan teruskan pembentangan kita dengan penyampaian yang akan disampaikan oleh Raja Unida.